What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Real Men podcast. And today we're going to be asking questions, and we're going to be going back and forth answering the questions. So the topic for today is life lessons and personal growth. Question number one, which is, can you identify a life lesson that significantly influenced your personal growth?
Oh, life lesson? Oh man, I have a whole bunch of those. I don't even say. Well, to answer this question, because I can answer this question, I can maybe tell you a ton of stories, 20 to 30 stories about life lessons that significantly influenced my personal growth. Maybe one of the ones that I want to talk about right now is maybe not obeying my parents. I think not obeying my parents really took me down the path where I thought I was being a badass. I thought I was being cool. I thought I was being, the coolest thing ever. The next big thing since sliced bread. But yeah, it made me just the fact, even if they can be wrong, or even if there is a better solution, but if they're trying to guide you, the simple fact that you respect your parents and that you obey them, that just brings you favor from God, and that just makes your life much easier, and your life much smoother, and you make better decisions because deep down in your heart you're doing the right thing. And yeah, and that's a life lesson that significantly influenced my personal growth, because ever since I started respecting my parents' opinions, and obviously now that I'm an adult, I wish I went back and I did everything they told me, but really I learned from it, I grew from it. I really can't be really I don't feel like I can really feel bad for it, because that makes me the person I am today, and I learned and I am the person I am today. Because of it, I am better, I am smarter, and yeah.
How do you actively seek opportunities for personal growth? Personal development in your life.
Oh,
How do you seek for opportunities?
I seek opportunities by asking them from God. First, I ask God for opportunities. Second, I tell Him to give me the ability to see the opportunities He gives me, to be grateful for them. Right? That's first things foremost. And third, I just stay working. I just stay practicing, like how David Goggins said. Stay being a practitioner. I'm not a theorist. A practitioner, I think, is the way. And I actively seek opportunities for development in my life, through consistency and through hard work, because I think that is the best way to actively seek for opportunities, because opportunities are there but are everywhere. The only way to take them is to actually take action on them and to be consistent with them.
And guys, this is our thoughts. This is our opinions on whatever we see, our perspective on life. Everyone has their own idea on how they see things based upon how they were raised, or the situations they've been in life. So, all right. So
if it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Drop a like though. Just let me know. Subscribe.
All right.
Subscribe. If you want to keep hearing advice and opinions.
All right, let's go.
Question number 3. Now I'm gonna ask David. Share a moment where a setback became a catalyst for personal growth.
What the hell is a catalyst?
A catalyst is like something that helps you start a fire. Like, how when you do carne asada, you put some of that liquid. That's a catalyst to help start the fire.
All right, guys. All right. I have several, but the one that comes to my mind right now, I would say, is the gym. I guess being in a situation puts pressure like a diamond to do what you have to do, and pretty much you stay like I don't know what the hell that shit's called when you put on the horses, but you just stay focused and you just stay in fucking in the matrix, in your own world, I guess.
Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, and you just start to focus more on what matters and do whatever you need to do to be in a better position, not just physically but mentally, so you could be in a better state of mind.
And what setback? Because it says here a setback. Did you have any setback that became that catalyst towards you being in the gym,
there's a huge setback that we can't really discuss to the full capacity. But long story short, we're no longer in our hometown, and we're in a different town where we're not close to our family members. So I guess in a way that I use that as fire and as fuel to fucking get away from everything for a little bit, and just that ignites fire in me to keep pushing.
Follow if you want the story. Well, discuss the impact of mentorship on your journey of self-improvement.
The mentorship?
The impact of mentorship. If you have any mentors, or who you consider.
Well, I don't have any mentors in specific, but I do follow David Goggins. There's several people that I follow that I use as fuel to keep my mind straight. But I would say, if anything, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that we are our own mentors, because at the end of the day, we influence ourselves. Unless you're surrounded by a lot of people that you are being influenced by, then that could be either something positive or something negative. But at this point, I have nobody to be influenced by but myself, and that could be a blessing, and it could also be a burden if you're not active and you're not doing what you have to do to be on your toes. Like for example, I am really focused into the gym and into myself, and I'm trying to better myself as a human being, as a father, as a brother, as a husband, and just in any aspect of my life.
Just remember, guys, if he ain't where you want to be, then I don't know why you want him as a mentor.
All right, so how do you balance contentment with the pursuit of continuous self-growth? That's an interesting question. Interesting. My English is sometimes.
How do you balance contentment with the pursuit of continuous self-growth? Because there's a moment in life, and there's sometimes within me, I'm like, man, what am I doing? I'm being too ambitious. I'm being too I'm being too greedy, Sometimes I do feel like I should just be grateful with what I have and just live the life I live. But I do notice that there is a whole bunch of money out there in the world. There is money, unimaginable and unthinkable amounts of money. And maybe up to the point where, I have my own house, I can buy my family or my friends or my close ones their own house, and we have all badass cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and we live that life of independence, of financial independence. Then I feel like you should just really focus on what really you want to do, whether it makes money or not, and put some businesses in place, put some systems in place for you too. But yeah, like I feel like I can be content. I still have to work for someone right now. I'm not my own employer. I still have to work for someone. I still have to, I'm still a slave,
Slave, but not a locked slave.
Not a locked slave. I'm a free-minded slave.
A volunteer slave.
A volunteer slave, yeah. I could not be a slave if I don't want to,
Yeah, there's a difference.
Homeless people live.
You're a slave, but you're aware that you're a slave. And some people are not aware they're slaves. They just clock in, clock out.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have that in your mind, that you also have to find a way out of that micromanagement type of thing. But it's not for everyone, and the only thing is that it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, and I think you need to have a personal goal and be realistic with yourself. and knowing that you are grateful where you're at right now, and you are really grateful for everything you have, but you do know deep down that you can get more, that there is more, and you got to be realistic with yourself where is enough and where you can stop. Like for me, like financial independence and having my own house, having my own car, being able to buy whatever I want myself to buy, I think would be a fair trade. And from there, I would be able to just continue on my personal growth with enough contentment that I don't have to chase money anymore, but chase that monster in me, or that that doesn't let me be a better person, and just kill it.
And sometimes that's not easy to do, because I feel that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a lot of great things, but we sometimes forget. It's easy to forget everything that we have, and we're not valuing the things as small as they are. Some people don't have them, so for me personally, it's something that I struggle with sometimes. That you need to value everything that you have, even though you want to achieve more and do more. But throughout the process that you're in, you have to value everything that you have, because I think we could lose focus of reality and everything else, because we're trying to find happiness and joy with things that come in the future instead of right now. Right?
Yep.
All right, so let's go with the next question is, what roles...
The 6.
Yeah. Share a specific goal you set for personal growth and how you achieved it.
A personal goal I set for personal growth and how I achieved it.
No, share a specific goal you set for personal growth.
For personal growth. Well, I think one goal I had in mind was to do 100 push-ups a day, and I do 100, sometimes even more than 100. Sometimes 120 push-ups, 150 push-ups a day. And there has not been one day that I don't do my 100 push-ups, because it's very easy. I do every hour or every 2 hours, or every time I get a break at my job, I do 30 push-ups. And 30 push-ups for me is nothing. I mean, 30 push-ups for me barely makes me put in some effort. And maybe if I go to 40, then I'll put in some actual effort into doing 40. But I do 30 push-ups every time I can, and at the end of the day, I find myself that I already did it 3 or 4 times, and that's already more than 100 push-ups. And that way I continue doing the 100 push-ups every day. Even though I don't get super buff out of it, but I know that I'm keeping my shoulders strong, my chest strong, my upper body strong, and in movement. And for me, that's what's important. That's what exercise is for me.
And not only that, it's a good discipline to have. The more little things that you do throughout the day like that, it's a good discipline and a good habit that you could continue to do throughout your day, and you could continue to add more things like that example.
Okay, well, now I'm gonna ask David, can you tell me what role does reflection play in your ongoing personal development? Reflection, I guess, reflecting on you, reflecting on your actions, reflecting on yourself, or reflecting on your decisions. What role does it play? Does it actually play a very influential role or not really? Do you think you reflect on things, on your decisions, on your actions?
Oh yeah, all the time. I think we all do. I mean,
does that benefit you?
If you guys don't know, there's about 60 to 80,000 thoughts that go into your head every single day, and that happens unconsciously. That happens every single day. And now the problem with that is, if you have the same shitty thoughts every single day, they're gonna be playing the same thing over and over every single day, and it's really hard to break that pattern. So if you have thoughts, positive thoughts, and you're someone that's optimistic, it's not going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy to change. So, and this also happens, I guess, after the age of 30. You have a certain pattern throughout your life. There's a chemical reaction that happens in your brain that makes it a lot more difficult to change. If you're someone that's very grumpy, someone that's always pissed off, after 30 years old, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it makes it a lot more difficult to change.
So after 30 years of age, your brain kind of settles into what you.
It's like a program.
You accustomed it to.
Yeah, it's like a computer, according to
Your programming.
according to Google. But back to your question, I would say, yeah, I reflect a lot on decisions that I've made. I always, especially if it was messed up or fucked up decisions, or decisions or things I shouldn't or should have said. Yeah, sometimes it always eats me alive. So I always try to make sure that I act on the moment, and I try to do what works best. But sometimes this is part of life. We continue to learn as we go. We will fuck up, and we will get back on our feet and continue to push.
Okay. So you reflect, you learn, you get better, you continue. How do you stay open to learning new things in various aspects of life? How do you do it?
To learn new.
How? Tell the people how.
By the way, all these questions are questions being asked at this precise moment.
We don't study them, bro.
So we didn't rehearse. You see us going over the questions maybe more than once, is because we didn't rehearse. We haven't practiced. This is the first time that I see this question, so it might take. And this is the first time we do this type of podcast. So
let us know if you got any ideas or any formats you might want us to use. But
all right. So go back to the question.
So his question that I want, and all these questions we're doing them just so you can know, right? So you can have an answer for all these questions, right? And so you can just kind of have, instead of you watching dumb TikToks and dumb stupid stuff and girls dancing all over the place with their butts out and naked, you're having knowledge. And you're having knowledge that's coming into your brain, into your soul, into your heart. And it depends on you if you take action on it. It doesn't matter if you can hear this whole podcast. Well, what role though? How do you stay open to learning new things in various aspects of life?
I would say just being open-minded to life in general. I would say regardless of what it is, I think it's always good to have an adventure and see new things, learn new things. I think that's always fun and always interesting. As you get older, I think it's a lot harder to get more interested in things. So I feel like just life in general.
So having like an adventurous spirit, you say would be,
yeah, definitely
would be the best catalyst for you to learn new things, to stay open to learning new things.
All right, so discuss the connection between gratitude and personal growth.
Back to the gratitude question. That's a sign, guys. That's a sign.
Gratitude and...
Well, the connection for me personally between gratitude and personal growth has to do with being grateful enough of you to take advantage of the things that God gave you and that you have in life, right? Like for example, some things that I always thought personally in my life, like I want to prove to God and I want to prove to myself that I can actually handle everything. If someone gave me a car or someone gave me, I don't know, some shoes or a business or a job, I'm going to take care of it. Or a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a relationship, so I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to use it to my best of my advantage to multiply my life, to multiply that person's life, to get the best result out of it, to use it properly. And I think that's the way gratitude connects with personal growth, because if you're grateful for the life that you have, if you're grateful that you're breathing, if you're grateful that you can smell, that you can see, that you can hear, you're gonna use everything you have and get to work.
All right. So next question is, can you share insights into your long-term vision for personal development?
Yeah, well, my long-term vision for personal development, insights, let's see.
Yeah, like maybe what strategies are you doing on a daily basis to reach your personal growth that you want to achieve?
Well, I think if I had to share insights into my personal growth for the future, my vision for the future, is just to be as healthy as possible, to be as strong as possible, to have the best relationships as possible, as humanly possible, and to have the best spiritual life and spiritual connection and relationship with God as possible, and just to have the best life as possible in general overall as a man, you know, being a leader, being a great father, being a great son, being a great uncle, being a great grandfather, a great nephew, you know. Obviously I'm gonna get there at some point.
Okay.
For my future, because we're talking about the future.
Oh yeah, you're right.
By the way, ladies, I'm single.
He's single.
But yeah, I mean, insights to my personal growth. It's just to the future. What was the question?
Long term.
Discuss the connection between Share insights into your long-term vision for personal development. Yeah, that's it. You know, just being the best possible human being that I can be, strongest, the bravest, and I don't have to be stronger than everyone else, even though I might be, or you know, smarter than everyone else, or you know, but as long as I'm stronger than I was before, or than I was yesterday, and I just feel like I can be the best version of myself. There might be someone that is stronger than me, or faster than me, or smarter than me. But as long as I worked my ass off and know deep down in my heart that I'm growing and that I'm doing what I can to get better every day, that should give me the enough satisfaction within me. And obviously, if I see someone that's been better than me, that's gonna motivate me to know that I could still do better.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Question number 11.
Question number 11 for David is, how do you define success in the context of your personal growth journey? How do you define success? So, because success is different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
All right, so for this question, I would say just taking a day at a time. Sometimes we want to do so much, and it happens to me all the time. Sometimes we want to do so much, read so many books, do so many things, that at the end of the day, sometimes we end up doing nothing. So I think for me, success would be doing one thing at a time, one day at a time, and breaking down everything that I want to improve on, and attack it on a daily basis, because it's not easy, especially being a father too, and always having to do things that maybe most parents don't have to do. It's not easy, and for me it has been a struggle being with my kids sometimes, but it's a learning process that I'm willing to do my best to keep improving, because obviously they're my world.
So you define success.
What?
You define success through winning one day at a time.
Yeah, winning one day at a time. I don't know who said this, but if you win the morning, you win the day.
Yeah, I win the morning. Me and my bed win the morning. Share a lesson learned from a mistake that shaped your personal growth. 12, yeah. Share a lesson learned from a mistake that shaped your personal growth. Damn, these personal growth questions are going hard, guys.
Yeah, they're killing me.
They're killing.
Share a lesson learned from a mistake.
They're making us go down the rabbit hole.
A mistake. Fuck.
They want us to break. They want us to break on camera.
I can't. If my wife is saying this, turn it off. Cut it.
It's for entertainment purposes only.
Everything I say here is not true. Not explained.
If I say something against the Matrix, it's all facts. I mean, it's a joke.
All right, I'm not sure. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. If it was a mistake or not, but I would say maybe as a man, sometimes we are what's that shit called? Our orgullo, is correct?
Our pride.
Our pride. Courage. Sorry guys, sometimes my English, I forget words in English. I forget words in Spanish. You guys will get to know us little by little. So I would say sometimes our pride as a man doesn't let us grow our personal growth. And what I mean by this is that sometimes we know we fucked up, but we choose to leave it like that. And instead of telling yourself, you know what, you fucked up, and just go fix it. And that, by fixing it, that's gonna help your personal growth little by little, so you could overcome and be a better person. I think that's how I would answer that question.
It makes sense, you know, just understanding that sometimes as a man it's okay, and maybe it's not 100% okay all the time, but it's okay to mess up and to recognize it and to do better next time.
Should be.
What habits or routines contribute most to your daily personal development?
I would say definitely right now, I've been going hard at the gym for the past like four or 5 months. Yeah, it's been like 4 months that I've been going pretty much every day, Monday to Saturday. And I feel that has helped a lot, because to your question, I feel that by making sure I go every single day, especially in the morning, for some reason, if you work out in the mornings, it just hits different. It makes you start off your day in a very positive way, and it makes you feel accomplished. And for people, this is a fact too. There's I forgot where I saw this video from, but whenever you do things that you hate to do, that you don't want to do, you get stronger and stronger, and you feel better and better, and it works the other way around too. If there's things that you really need to do, but you don't do them, and you keep slacking, it's gonna make you feel like shit over and over and over. And whenever you start breaking those type of cycles over time, it feels really good. And for me, to your question, it would be going to the gym every day, regardless of how I feel. If I feel like shit, if I don't feel like going, I feel by doing that, especially the days that I feel like shit and I still go, those are the days that I work out the hardest, and those are the days that make me feel the best.
Right, and I think one time you told me to you don't really feel like working out, but once you drag yourself to the gym and you're already there, you're like, I'm already here, might as well just get to work. So
yeah, I think regardless in what field you're in, whatever you want to do, I think even if you don't feel like doing whatever it is you need to do, as long as you show up and you're there, everything else will work out on its own. So discuss the influence of positive affirmations on your mindset and growth.
Okay. Personally, I don't really the word affirmations and the word, what's it called when you're doing like affirmations,
like the law of attraction thing?
The law of attraction. For me, the law of attraction is just another way of saying faith, because if I ask for something in the God that I believe in, the God from the Bible, I have faith that He will give it to me, right? And then the question here is discuss the influence of positive affirmations on your mindset and growth. Those are the type of affirmations I use. If I say, God, in the name of Jesus, give me a blessed day and help me take advantage of my time, then that affirmation that I said in the name of God comes true, because I believe that the name of God has power, and I just make it a reality too.
Yeah, and I think if you have affirmations that you're putting into practice, for example, let's say you have a list of 10 affirmations that you read every morning, but you're actually taking action on those affirmations that you're saying to yourself, I think in a way you're manipulating yourself through the law of attraction to get the ball rolling, which is good. But where I think it goes wrong, and I think sometimes it's used or looks.
You lie to yourself.
You lie to yourself. You could tell yourself you're gonna be rich 100 million times, but if you're saying you're going to be rich while you lay down in bed, nothing's gonna happen. You have to take action and back up whatever you bring to your head. And of course, anything that you think of and things that you bring to your head are very important, because the brain is a powerful thing. The way we think and the way we see things can either make us or break us.
Yep. How do you overcome resistance to change during periods of personal growth? Because sometimes change might be scary, or change might be, you don't know what's going to happen during the times of change. So how do you overcome resistance to change? Because deep down inside you, there is a little bit of a resistance because of that you don't know what's on the other side. So how do you overcome resistance to change during periods of personal growth?
Yeah, I think for that, I think you just have to let go sometimes. You just have to let it be, and whatever needs to happen is going to happen, and just go with the flow. And for example, I think it was Will Smith. He was talking about jumping off an airplane, and the day before he was just dreading the next day. He almost wanted to cry. He didn't want to show up or something like that. And as soon as he jumped off the airplane, he felt alive, and he felt that he was in heaven in a way, and he just felt so great after he did it. You know, the way he explains it is way better than what I'm telling you, but pretty much sometimes we hold back and we overthink things too much to the point we beat ourselves up before it happens, and after it happens, you're like, what, that was it?
Yeah. And share a story where embracing vulnerability led to personal breakthroughs. Do you think you've ever been vulnerable, like that actually benefited you, or that you embraced being vulnerability?
Oh yeah,
that led you to personal breakthroughs.
One thing that I could think of is, by the way, I'm a barber. I cut hair as well. I mean, but I would say one time where I was working at a barber school. And as a teacher, the very first time that I had to teach by myself, and this was in Spanish. My Spanish is not the greatest, but bro, man, I was scared. I was really scared. I was shaking. I didn't want to do it, but I pushed myself through it, and I was so happy I did that, because after I finished every time, I felt amazing. Being able to conquer a fear, I think, is the greatest thing we could do. Going against the current sometimes feels the best. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. So just regardless if you do something new, you're gonna feel vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
You have to embrace that vulnerability.
You have to break.
I think self-awareness is one thing that has led me to be the person. I think my self-awareness is just like, maybe I'm too self-aware sometimes, or maybe I'm not. Who knows, right? But based on what my brain tells me right now, I feel like I've been enough self-aware for me to understand.
I mean,
that what I'm doing at the moment, and what the purpose is at the moment, and I am very self-aware sometimes to a point where it's not super healthy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because it's good to be self-aware, but sometimes nowadays with social media and you have all this stuff going on, I think the majority of us nowadays might be a little bit too self-aware that we don't even like to post or say nothing, because you're worried about what people are going to think and whatnot, Exactly. Sometimes you just have to say fuck it and do whatever you want to do.
You don't have competition. Unless it's like David Goggins.
Well, it's not even about competition. It's just about being yourself, and if people don't like who you are, then fuck them, and they don't have to follow you.
But follow me. Follow us, guys. Subscribe.
But follow me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I think being self-aware is good to a certain point, because makes you understand that you have purpose and you have meaning in wherever you're at in your environment.
I think it's just like everything else in life. There has to be a balance. It's just like alcohol. It's just like anything. The Bible says alcohol is not bad. You could drink one or two. But the problem is if you get drunk and you drink too many, that's a problem. But if you have a balance to everything that you do, I mean,
and then your self-awareness goes to shit.
Yeah.
Then you're not self-aware anymore. If you feel too self-aware of yourself, drink 2 shots, but don't get drunk.
All right.
And get to work.
18. How do you handle criticism or feedback as a tool for personal growth?
Improvement. Well, the best way as possible. With good intentions, Every time someone has criticized me, every time someone gave me feedback, sometimes, yeah, it's okay. Maybe you're in a bad mood. You know, maybe you're mad, maybe you're pissed at life or at yourself because you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing. You might get offended, but most of the time, maybe 90% of the time, I always take it the best way possible, and I always understand. If they're telling me this, it's for a reason. They might be wrong, they might be right. I'm gonna analyze it. I'm gonna work on it. And if I said something to someone, it's with good intention. So that's what I believe. Other people, and there's evil people out there that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. You also have to be real. You have to be real, and it depends how they say it and who says it. If it's a constructive criticism, knowing that the person has good intentions behind what they're saying, and it's someone that you care for, then it makes total sense. But if you could tell someone's just talking shit just to talk shit because they like to see you
make fun of you or
laugh
at
shit, then of course that might hit different. So it depends where this criticism is coming from.
Remember, guys, but violence is not the key. But there's a saying that says it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener at war. So you gotta always stay prepared.
Gardener at war. I've never heard. That was the first time I heard that one. Well, at the end of the day, the last comment for the criticism would be, we're not perfect, even though some people pretend to be, but I think constructive criticism is definitely well needed, because sometimes we need someone to fucking slap us behind our head and tell us that you're fucking up and get shit done correctly. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we need someone there to tell us that you're fucking up, because those are the real friends. If you see a friend that he's fucking up and you don't help him, you don't tell him shit, you're not a fucking friend.
Exactly.
I mean, if I have someone around me and I'm fucking up, I want someone to tell me, hey bro, you get your shit together, you're fucking up. If you're not telling me shit, you're not my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, jumping into the next question.
Yeah, share advice for someone navigating a transformative period in their life.
Oof. That one hits home because we're going through that shit right now.
We're not talking about all that weird transformative and
oh,
man, nah.
It's the transients?
Yeah, it's normal transformative, not that weird.
Yeah, you just I mean, sooner than later we'll talk about this about the story of our lives. But I would say our lives got switched for a 360. 2 years ago, approx. So for this question, I would say shit, take a day at a time. Just take a day at a time and gather your thoughts and just fucking try to be optimistic, even though it's not easy, and just try to look at the bright side of everything. And slowly for surely, I mean, there's always a light out of that tunnel. Oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, some shit like that.
There's a tunnel at the end of the light. What? And what?
Discuss the importance of setting boundaries for personal and professional balance.
Personal and professional balance. Well, I think it's very easy. You clock out of work, and you're done with it. You
clock in, clock out.
Clock in, clock out. And here's the deal: if you don't have a job, if you're like an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have your own business, if you're not working a 9 to 5, I think like how Andrew Tate once said, like, I don't want to steal his ideas or anything, but I kind of want to make it an idea of my own, and I want to practice that. Like why focus on that balance? Like if in order for you to become great, and in order for you to actually achieve your goals that you want. Obviously, everyone has a different definition of success. For me personally, right now, especially that I don't have a wife and I don't have kids, I feel like it's my time to shine, to not care about personal or professional balance, and just focus on professional and focus on both of them at the same time. If you focus on everything, if you try your best on every aspect in life, if you actually try your very best I think the balance comes out on its own. Like you don't even need to focus on trying to, because if you actually try your best, you're gonna pay attention to your kids, or you're gonna do your job. You're gonna do what is necessary. You're gonna send that email. You're gonna send that text. You're gonna ask. You're gonna get results for your client. You know, if you really try hard enough, I think the balance will come on its own.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, depending on what you do, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a businessman, if you're doing what you want to do, then it's makes it easier because it doesn't feel like work. And at the end of the day, especially if you don't have kids, you could be working all day 24/7, and if it's something that you love, you're not gonna feel like it's work.
Let's go. So yeah, all right. So you're first on. Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? We're back from our coffee break. We're here answering questions that every man wants to should hear at some point in their life from us. You know. And you might have more experience than us. We might have more experience than you. But come on, guys. We're here to win. And yeah, we're here to learn from each other. So leave your opinions down in the comments. If you guys want to answer any of these questions, go ahead and answer them. That would be very helpful. You know, if we might learn something from your comments as well. So here's a question for David. Share a specific challenge that pushed you out of your comfort zone and spurred growth.
A specific challenge. Well, I mean, we don't have to. We could go with right now. This is the first podcast that we're going to load. I'm not used to talking to the camera. I'm not used to doing this type of thing. So right now, this is a challenge for me, and I think it's a good challenge because it's going to get me out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I know this is going to help me to better myself in speaking. On visual, nowadays we're 2024, everything relies behind a camera, everything has to be done on social media. So I'm a barber and I also do barber tutorials, so that will also help me improve my content. So I think it's a must to go against the current.
It's a must to go against the current. If you guys want to do something, just do it, guys.
Can you discuss the role of resilience in facing adversity and growing from it?
Okay. Well, I think resilience. I think resilience is the number one key to success because you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall. People are gonna put their foot in front of you. Circumstances, God is going to test you. You're going to make decisions that are gonna make your life more difficult, and you have to learn from and resilience. I think it's just, you know, the ability to overcome any challenges that come your way in order for you to achieve your goals. And the role of resilience in facing adversity and growing from it is just to apply it. It's just to apply resilience, because what can I do? What, you know, if I fail, if I fall, if there's an adversity, if my family doesn't have anything to eat, or if we don't have nowhere to live, I'm gonna just be resilient. You know, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do, you know, to feed my family and to give them a proper ceiling, you know, to protect them from the heat or from the rain, you know, somewhere to sleep. And you know, I think resilience is just a key factor in every man's life. And when someone triumphs and when someone wins, or when someone doesn't win and someone stays for the rest of their life, just stays down low, I think the secret to them was either they were resilient or they were not resilient.
Share insights into the evolution of your values over the course of your life.
Okay. Well, my parents have always taught me the best values in the world. You know, the greatest values in the world, the values that come from the Bible, you know, to be nice to others, to not steal, to love, you know, to be forgiving, you know. And however, it was not always like that. There was a moment in my life You guys will know eventually. There was a moment in my life where I did not have the best values. You know, I would. How can I put it this way? I wouldn't really have the value of um of taking care of my family or taking care of my loved ones. My values in life were the most trashy values you can think of. You know, just have fun. You know, just regardless of how much it's gonna affect your future, regardless if you're throwing your life away, regardless if you're not gonna eat for that day, you know, regardless if you're gonna be affecting others and other people are gonna be sad and miserable because of you or because they worry about you. And my values were just, but you know, I got rescued from that type of life, especially by the people that loved me and by God. And now my values are to, you know, my values now are spiritual values, and my values are to take care of my loved ones and to be an honest person, you know, and yeah, and to be upright, to be trustworthy, to be able to lend a hand when I can and when it's possible, and to, you know, not betray, not be a snake, you know, and be there for the people that I need to be there for and want to be there for. Share advice for navigating transitions and adapting to change in your life.
All right. So for this question, I would say
Pay attention, guys.
sometimes, and I talk to my daughter about this all the time, and sometimes we have to embrace not only the good, we also have to embrace the bad. I see it like the third law of action. For every action, there's always an equal or opposite reaction. So if there's a up, there's a down. If there's a big, there's a small. Negative, positive, everything has its opposites. If you're happy and sad, you won't know to be happy if you're not sad. So there has to be a balance, like everything else we have been talking about. So if you go through bad things in life, whenever good things in life come in, then you will embrace both of them and you will learn from both of them as well. So I think we just have to continue to learn as we go. Life is not perfect. We don't know, not everybody knows what they're doing in life. But some people play it off like they do, and for some reason social media sells it the best. And for me, it would be just take a day at a time and do what needs to be done for the well-being of yourself mentally and your family, and of course try to keep God in mind. That's something that I struggle with personally, but it's something that I'm trying to work on a daily basis, even though sometimes I slack it. But that's pretty much it, I would say.
Nice. And yeah, I mean, so pretty much what you're saying is the more you suffer, the more you can enjoy it. You know, the harder it gets, the more you can actually appreciate when it gets easier. You know, like the further your lows, the higher your highs, you know?
Yeah, and of course you have to learn throughout the process and embrace. Hey, I'm pretty sure we're all been there. Whenever you haven't ate, you're starving, and you take a bite of that slice of pizza, you take a bite of that hamburger, the glory just tastes so different. If you're on a diet and you don't eat hamburgers for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, 2 weeks, and you take a bite of that dessert, man, that shit just hits different. But yeah, I would say that.
All right, guys. Well, and this is it for this week's The Real Men podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, drop a like. I want to hear your comments in the comments. You know, teach us something valuable. Let us know what you're going through. Definitely respond. And thank you for tuning in.